Hello, Professor Spites. My name is Cody Milburn. I'm giving my presentation over the country of Germany. As you can see on the map, it's located on the continent of Europe. I'll begin speaking about Germany, discussing their significant point in history, something significant we would need to know if we were to travel there. I guess that would be Germany is responsible for both world wars. World War I and World War II. It's a dubious distinction, but one nonetheless that they hold. I also have a little bit of history with Germany myself, having lived there for 3 or 4 years as a youth in the military in my younger days. And I got to experience quite a bit of the culture, the people, and learned a little bit more about the history, about things that I had never known before. And so I enjoyed the country very much, and found that the people that, although they do have a dubious history in that manner of speaking, have come a long way and are great people to be around in a country that is very enjoyable. Living in Germany and where to live in Germany is not that hard of an issue to determine. I mean, most of the cities, the metropolitan areas, Frankfurt, Kaiserslautern, Munich, those are the fairly populated areas. That's where the majority of the population lives, in the metropolitan and urban areas. But Germany itself is a large urban country, rural country. It's very rural, and small towns dot the map throughout, from a few hundred people to 1,000. There's so many towns of this nature. So the majority of population is in the city, and if you were to live there, I would imagine that you probably would live in a metropolitan area where it's more international. People speak English more. There's a greater chance that you will be able to pick up their language better. The rural areas would be a little tougher for each individual to reside if you didn't know the language well. Daily transportation in Germany is what they're known for: cars. BMW, Mercedes. Germany is known for the quality of their transportation, their vehicles. The population generally drives everywhere they go, similar to the United States in that matter. They have a huge highway system called the Autobahn, which is far superior to probably what we enjoy here in the West, or in the United States. But they're known for their cars, and that's where their transportation is provided normally. And they have, in their metropolitan areas, they have the same public transit systems that we have here. In regards to the safety and security, if you were to reside in Germany, it's very good. Germany itself is a very stable country. The safety, I can attest to it. I lived there during the first Gulf War, and lived inside the country where security was very strict. They have had a checkered past in some sense in regards to the '72 Olympics. There was the hostage situation. But Germany itself is a very safe country, open borders within the EU, so it's easy to travel to and from, and no fear. Language in Germany, very few language barriers to be. I guess in the rural areas it's a little more difficult to get through, but most people in Germany, remarkably, English is probably their second language. They all speak English very well. German language is the only language. It doesn't have a whole lot of dialects, as in other countries. You don't have a whole lot of variations on one language. It's just German, and it's fairly easy to learn if you take a little bit of class, do your background on it, and to get around. But very few language barriers. The majority of people are very international culture and speak English as well. In discussing some American conveniences which aren't available in Germany, I guess we'd first look to, in my opinion, we'd first discuss the power grid. I don't think that their power grid in general, they're just the foundation of everything, are as good as established as they are here in the States. It's a lot harder to find internet access. Technology is a little less in the rural areas. They're not as advanced when it comes to the resources we have here for media, for communication in smaller towns. It's a little harder. Along with that, on a smaller note, was they were a little behind in 24-hour convenience stores when I was there, and 24-hour grocery stores. They just didn't have that, but that's probably changed since then. German people as a whole enjoy Americans. and their response to the Americans. I mean, there's a lot of sometimes around military bases it can get very difficult. Americans travel in and out of these bases, and we have a huge, Americans do have a huge contingency in military bases in Germany still. So around military bases it can become irritable for people that are using that area. Those people live there, and these guys are coming in and out. They don't necessarily stay there, but as a whole they're ambivalent towards Americans than toward, I mean, in regards to any other culture. They enjoy Americans and have nothing against us in general. Germany and its appropriate business dress is fairly normal as to what we would experience in the United States. The same type of business casual, whether it's a jacket and button up, is appropriate for most offices in Germany and business. They are also responsible, Germany itself, not business dress, but is the father of Levi's blue jeans. Loeb Strauss, who later preferred the name Levi, was actually born in Bavaria, was a German-born American who invented Levi's. So, but his business attire is comparable to what we experience in the United States. In the event you were lucky enough to be invited to someone's home in Germany, there's no expectations per se, but I guess what would be expected is to bring an appetite and to bring at least a like for a little bit of alcohol. They like to drink dark beer. Weizen beer is just part of what they do, and brew Bavarian beer. But going to someone's house is a time to sit around, enjoy, talk. No different than visiting with friends in any country. You would sit and eat and drink mostly around the table, and that's what it consists of. But no, there wouldn't be any sort of preconceived notions that how you should act or what. It's just being amongst friends. Germans as a whole are hardworking people, so to say that their work days are probably a little less than what ours are is not a knock on the German people or their work ethic, but it is a fact. I lived there, I saw it. Lunch breaks, it's a little more laid back, it's a little more casual. Summer is a little longer as far as their breaks. Their work day is no less efficient, I imagine, and I'm sure that they get as much done, but I did live there, I did see it, and I do understand the culture and then the fact that their work days are efficient, but a little shorter and a little bigger breaks. The rules of etiquette for how you would handle yourself or act in Germany, I guess it's a difficult one. It's not as easy to say there are these particular rules of etiquette for an entire culture. I imagine in different regions, etiquette is different, but as a whole, it's a friendly country. There are no rules prohibiting. I mean, it's expected of you to greet someone with a hello and a good morning or a good afternoon, a good greeting and goodbye and thank you. And that's the rules of etiquette. Shaking hands with men whom you meet and speak to, and being courteous to women. The same rules that would apply for anyone of any well-mannered upbringing. In conclusion, discussing Germany, it's a wonderful country of a vast things to see. I mean, it's got rural areas, beautiful cities. Americans are welcome. They love us. They love any culture who can assimilate and blend just the same as anyone would. It's got rich traditions, port cities, mountains. It's a beautiful country with a great people. And I found it to be a country that was most like the United States in everywhere I traveled in the European theater. In its culture, everything to do with society, from work to interaction amongst children and men and women. And so I greatly enjoyed it, and anyone who would experience it would probably feel the same.